The Emperor's throne ship moved into position above Earth. On the command bridge, Vexcar watched the blue planet with hate in his 6 eyes. "Prepare the planet killer," he ordered. "I want to see continents burn." His crew rushed to obey. None noticed the small Alliance ship that attached itself to the throne ship's underside. Meridian cloaking technology kept it hidden from Alzaran sensors. General Donovan led her team of 12 soldiers through the emergency airlock they had cut in the throne ship's hull. Each soldier wore light armor and carried weapons designed to work inside the ship without causing hull breaches. "Remember," Donovan told them quietly, "our goal is the bridge. We capture the Emperor, if possible. If not, we make sure he can't give the order to fire the planet killer." They moved silently through the massive ship, using the schematics they had taken from the captured Alzaran database. When they encountered guards, they used darts filled with a sedative the Voltar had created specifically for Alzaran biology. On the bridge, Emperor Vexcar grew impatient. "Why is the planet killer not ready yet?" "Final power calibration in progress, Your Majesty," said the weapons officer. 2 more minutes. The door to the bridge slid open. Guards entered, looking nervous. "What is it?" demanded Vexcar. "Security teams not responding on decks 7 through 12, Your Majesty," reported the guard captain. "We've lost contact with." The guard never finished. Small devices flew through the door, releasing a thick smoke. Donovan's team rushed onto the bridge, wearing masks that let them see through the smoke. The bridge crew fought back, but they were confused and unprepared. Within seconds, Donovan stood before the Emperor, her weapon pointed at his chest. The smoke cleared. The bridge crew was subdued, held at gunpoint by Donovan's soldiers. "Emperor Vexcar," Donovan said calmly, "I am General Alice Donovan of Earth." Vexcar stared at her in disbelief. "Impossible. How did you board my ship?" "The same way we've done everything you thought was impossible," said Donovan. "By being human." The Emperor drew himself up to his full height, nearly 7 feet tall in his golden armor. "You are either very brave or very foolish, human. Do you think capturing me will end this war? My empire will burn your world to ash." "Your empire is already falling," said Donovan. 7 major systems have declared independence. Your governors are fighting among themselves. Your slave races are rebelling." "Lies," Vexcar roared. Donovan gestured, and one of her soldiers activated a device. Holograms appeared showing Alzaran ships fighting each other, worlds in open rebellion, and the battle at Jupiter, where the Imperial fleet was being defeated. "You never understood us," Donovan told him. "You thought because we sought peace, we were weak. You thought because we tried to avoid war, we didn't know how to fight one." She stepped closer to the Emperor, unafraid. "Humans don't fight because we love war. We fight because we love peace so much we'll walk through hell to secure it." For the first time in his long life, uncertainty showed in Vexcar's eyes. He had never personally met a human before, had never looked into their eyes and seen the determination there. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now you order your forces to stand down," said Donovan. "Then you will face justice for the worlds you've destroyed and the people you've enslaved." The Emperor looked around his captured bridge. He saw no way out, but more importantly, he saw something he had never seen before, a species that had not only resisted the Empire, but had systematically dismantled it. "Very well," he said finally. "I will give the order." 1 year later, representatives from 30 species gathered on neutral ground to sign the Galactic Concordat. The treaty established a new council where all species had equal voice. The Alzaran Empire was dissolved, its worlds either becoming independent or joining the new Galactic Union. After the ceremony, an Alzaran historian approached General Donovan. His purple skin was faded with age, his 4 eyes cloudy but wise. "I have studied 1,000 years of galactic history," he said. "Yet I cannot understand how humans, with so little interstellar experience, defeated an empire of conquerors. Donovan looked out at the representatives of worlds now free after centuries of imperial rule. "Because we've spent thousands of years fighting ourselves," she said quietly. "We've seen every hell war can create. We just hoped we'd never have to show the universe." The historian nodded slowly. "The Empire laughed at you." "Yes," said Donovan. "But they're not laughing anymore." Jupiter's many moons hung like jewels against the giant planet's swirling clouds. For centuries, humans had mined these moons and built research stations there. Now these moons would become a battlefield. Emperor Vexkar's massive fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system. 300 ships, including his enormous throne ship at the center. The fleet moved slowly toward Jupiter, where sensors detected human and allied vessels. "The insects wait for us near the gas giant," said General Frax, leader of the Imperial forces. "They have perhaps 60 ships, a mixture of human and rebel alien vessels." Vexkar's 6 eyes narrowed. "So few. Do they hope to surrender?" "I doubt it, Your Majesty," said Frax. "Our intelligence suggests General Donovan leads them personally. She has never shown interest in surrender." "Then she is a fool," said the Emperor. "Begin the attack. I want every human ship destroyed." The Alzheran fleet spread out, forming an attack pattern they had used to crush 1,000 civilizations before. It was beautiful in its deadly precision. But the humans and their allies didn't follow the expected script. As the Imperial ships approached, the Alliance vessels scattered in patterns that seemed random. The Alzherans gave chase, breaking their own perfect formation. Major Nickel Baker sat in the cockpit of her fighter. She led Hell's Vanguard, a squadron of 20 small, fast ships that had once been Earth's atmosphere fighters. Now they had been modified with Alzheran and Trillary technology. "Vanguard Squadron, form up," she said into her comm. "Remember the plan. We hit fast, we hit hard, and we don't stop moving." Her squadron acknowledged. Baker took a deep breath. At 29, she was the youngest major in Earth's forces. She had earned her rank by being the best pilot on the planet. "Let's show them how humans fly," she said. "Launch." Hell's Vanguard shot from the hangar of their carrier ship, 20 streaks of light heading straight toward the Alzheran heavy cruisers. The Alzheran gunners fired at them, but Baker's pilots moved like they were dancing. They spun, rolled, and changed direction faster than the enemy targeting systems could follow. "They can't hit what they can't predict," Baker told her pilots as they weaved through enemy fire. "Remember, their systems expect logical flight patterns. Be human. Be unpredictable." Her fighters reached the first Alzheran cruiser and fired their new weapons, missiles containing a mixture of Earth explosives and Voltar biotechnology. The missiles burrowed into the cruiser's hull before detonating. Huge chunks of the enemy ship broke apart. Across the Jupiter battlefield, similar scenes played out. Alliance ships used tactics the Empire had never seen before. The Trillary ships phased in and out of normal space. The Voltar vessels released clouds of living spores that ate through Alzheran hull metal. And the humans fought with a fury that shocked the Imperial forces. They didn't retreat when damaged. They rammed their crippled ships into Alzheran vessels rather than surrender. In his command center, Vexkar watched with growing rage as his perfect fleet fell into chaos. "What is happening?" he demanded. "How are they defeating our superior forces?" "They fight differently, Your Majesty," said General Frax. "The humans especially. They don't follow the logical patterns of warfare." "I don't care how they fight," shouted the Emperor. "Destroy them." While the battle raged around Jupiter's moons, Vexkar made a decision. "Prepare my personal guard. We will attack Earth directly while their defenders are busy here." The throne ship and 20 elite vessels broke away from the main battle. They moved toward the blue planet that had caused the Empire so much trouble. "Sir, the Emperor's ship is heading toward Earth," reported a sensor officer to Colonel Ryan, who commanded the Alliance forces at Jupiter. Ryan nodded. General Donovan predicted this. "Signal her ship." The Emperor took the bait. On a small, unmarked vessel moving in the shadow of the throne ship, General Donovan received the message. Her ship had been following Vexcar's vessel since it entered the solar system, hidden by Meridian cloaking technology. The Emperor thinks he's launching a surprise attack, she told her small team of elite soldiers. Instead, he's delivering himself into our hands. As the throne ship approached Earth, Donovan's vessel moved closer, preparing to board. The final confrontation was about to begin. Colonel Eric Johnson stepped onto the bridge of the strange ship and tried not to stare at its crew. The Trilari were tall, with skin that looked like polished silver. They had no mouths, yet somehow Johnson could hear their words in his mind. "We welcome you, human warrior," said the Trilari captain. His name was impossible to pronounce, so Johnson called him Silver, which seemed to amuse the alien. "For 1,000 years, we have hidden from the Empire. You are the first to fight them openly and survive." "We need more than survival," said Johnson. "We need allies." Silver nodded, an oddly human gesture he must have learned from studying Earth broadcasts. The Trilari were once a great civilization. The Alzarans reduced us to a few hidden colonies, but we kept our best ships and weapons safe. He pressed a panel, and a hologram appeared showing hundreds of ships hiding in a nebula. "The Trilari fleet," Silver explained, "ready to fight after centuries of waiting for the right moment." Johnson felt hope rise in his chest. There are others who might join us too. Within days, representatives from 6 species gathered in a hidden base on Europa, Jupiter's moon. Besides the silver-skinned Trilari, there were the Voltar, who looked like walking trees, the Meridian Collective, whose bodies seemed made of living crystal, and 3 other species humans had never seen before. General Donovan addressed them all. "The Empire has kept us apart, told us we were alone in our resistance. That ends today." She proposed the Liberty Alliance, the first coalition to challenge the Empire in its 3,000-year history. Every species agreed to join. "We strike at their production centers first," Donovan explained, showing 7 key locations across Alzaran space. "Without new ships, they cannot replace their losses." The Alliance fleet, a strange mix of human, Trilari, Voltar, and Meridian vessels, split into 7 battle groups. They jumped across the galaxy in perfect synchronization, arriving at their targets at exactly the same moment. The Alzarans, who had never faced a coordinated attack from multiple species, were caught unprepared. 7 massive shipyards burned in a single day. On his throne ship, Emperor Vexcar received the news with cold fury. The regional governors attending him via hologram looked afraid. "How is this possible?" the Emperor demanded. "How are these primitives coordinating attacks across our territory?" "The humans have united our enemies," said Governor Drall of the Eastern Systems. "My lord, perhaps we should consider." "Consider what?" Vexcar snapped. "Negotiating with insects. The Empire does not negotiate." "But Emperor," said another governor, "we've lost 3 mining worlds to rebellion. 2 more threaten to join this alliance. If we focus all our forces on Earth, we risk losing control off." Silence. The Emperor's voice echoed through the chamber. "Any governor who speaks of compromise will be replaced. Any world that rebels will be destroyed. Is that clear?" The governors bowed their heads, but when the transmission ended, several exchanged private messages. For the first time in memory, imperial governors questioned their emperor's wisdom. The Empire's propaganda changed. Where once they had mocked humans as weak primitives, now they described them as demons, monsters who corrupted other species with lies. In her command center on Luna, Donovan watched the Alliance's progress with careful optimism. Colonel Johnson reported from the front lines. "The Trilari fleet destroyed an Imperial patrol near the Arcturus system," he said. "The Voltar have liberated 2 of their former colony worlds. And the Meridian Collective has provided us with crystal tech that can block Alzaran sensors." "And the casualties?" Donovan asked. "Lower than expected," said Johnson. "The Empire is fighting on too many fronts. They're stretched thin." Ryan entered with a tablet. General, our deep space sensors have detected a massive energy signature. The Emperor's throne ship has left the Imperial capital. He's leading a fleet of over 300 vessels. Destination? Asked Donovan. Here, said Ryan. They're coming to Sol. To Earth. Donovan nodded, as if she had expected this. The Emperor's pride wouldn't let him stay away. He needs to prove his power by destroying us personally. Should we recall our fleets to defend Earth? Asked Johnson. No, said Donovan. That's what he expects. Instead, we'll set a trap. She looked at the map of the solar system. Jupiter's moons will be our battleground, and I'll be there to meet him. You're going into battle personally? Asked Ryan, alarmed. Donovan's eyes were cold and determined. This war began with his threat and my promise. It's time to deliver on that promise. While Admiral Wright's fleet returned to Earth with valuable data from the Proxima Centauri base, General Donovan prepared for the next phase of her plan. She knew the Alzarans would return with greater force. But now, humans had something they didn't have before. Information about the Empire's inner workings. The database we captured contains communications across their entire empire, said Captain Lisa Hernandez. She was a small woman with sharp eyes and a mind that could break any code. Before the war, she led Earth's top cybersecurity team. Now she led the effort to understand the enemy. What have you learned? Asked Donovan. Lisa tapped her tablet, and images appeared on the main screen. They showed alien worlds, strange cities, and different species working under Alzaran guards. The Empire rules over 27 other species, she explained. Most were conquered like they planned to conquer us. Some fought and were almost wiped out. Others surrendered right away. And they all serve the Empire now? Colonel Ryan asked. Yes, but not willingly, said Lisa. The Alzarans tell each world that resistance is pointless, that no one else fights back. They keep each species isolated, feeding them lies about the others. Donovan studied the images. They rule through fear and lies. Exactly, said Lisa, and we can use that against them. Donovan nodded slowly. Begin Phase 2. Over the next week, small human ships jumped to different systems in the Empire. They didn't attack. Instead, they broadcast messages on frequencies the Alzarans thought were secure. The messages contained truth, recordings of humans fighting back, images of defeated Alzaran troops, and calls for other species to rise up. On the water world of Keltar, blue-skinned beings who had served the Empire for 500 years saw humans destroying an Alzaran base. On desert planets and ice moons, in crowded cities and mining colonies, the message spread. Resistance was possible. Captain Hernandez led a special team that infiltrated the Empire's main communication hub in the Sirius system. They planted devices that let them take control of the Empire's own networks. Send the package, she told her team after they returned safely to their ship. Across the Empire, on millions of screens used by Alzaran officials, the same message played. Video of their troops retreating from Earth, their ships being captured, their bases falling. The final image showed General Donovan looking directly at the camera. The Empire lied to you, she said simply. Humans fight back. Others can too. In the Alzaran War Council chamber, 6 high-ranking generals watched these reports with growing concern. Uprisings on 12 worlds, said one general. Mining operations stopped on 5 others. How are these humans doing this? Asked another. They've only just learned to travel between stars. The oldest general, his purple skin faded with age, spoke quietly. In 3,000 years, we have never met a species like them. They don't fight like the others. The door slammed open. Emperor Vexkar entered, his golden armor gleaming. All generals bowed low. You will crush these humans immediately, the Emperor ordered. I want their planet burned. I want their colonies destroyed. I want their name forgotten. Your Majesty, said the oldest general, perhaps we should offer terms. These humans have shown. His words ended in a gurgle as the Emperor's energy blade cut through his throat. Does anyone else wish to suggest surrender to primitives? Vexcar asked. No one spoke. Prepare the planet killer, the Emperor ordered. We will make an example of Earth that the galaxy will never forget. Unknown to the Emperor, hidden sensors planted by Hernandez's team recorded everything. Within hours, Donovan watched the Emperor order Earth's destruction. He's reacting exactly as we predicted, said Donovan to her staff. His pride won't let him consider peace. The evacuation is proceeding on schedule, reported Ryan. 80% of key population centers have been moved underground or to the secured moon bases. Donovan nodded. And our new allies? Ryan smiled for the first time in weeks. The Trillari have made contact. Their ships will arrive tomorrow. 3 other species have pledged support. Good, said Donovan. She looked at the map showing the massive Elzheran fleet moving toward Earth. The Empire thinks they're coming to end this war. They don't realize it's just beginning. 2 weeks passed after the failed Elzheran landing. Earth remained quiet, but deep below the surface, humans worked without rest. In a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Karen Russell studied the alien technology from the captured battlecruiser. Her team worked day and night to understand how the ship moved between stars. It's not like anything we imagined, she told General Donovan during a briefing. Karen's red hair was tied back, her eyes tired but excited. They don't bend space like our theories suggested. They slit between layers of reality. Donovan nodded. Can we use it? Karen smiled. We already have. We've adapted the drive to work with our largest ships. It's not perfect, but it's functional. How soon can we move? Donovan asked. The first 5 ships are ready now. 10 more will be ready in 3 days. Across the table, Admiral Samuel Wright looked skeptical. The Navy man had served 40 years protecting Earth's waters. Now he was asked to command ships that would travel between stars. My crews have only had days to train on this alien tech, he said. The Empire has used it for thousands of years. True, said Donovan, but they don't expect us to have it at all. That's our advantage. She turned to the large display, showing the Elzheran Empire's known territory. A small dot near one edge represented Earth. A larger dot near the center was the Elzheran home system. Our scouts report the Empire is gathering a massive fleet, she said. They'll return in force. But first, we strike them where they don't expect us. She pointed to a small moon orbiting a gas giant in the Proxima Centauri system, the star closest to Earth's sun. The Elzherans have a forward base here. It's lightly defended because no one has ever attacked it. No one in this region of space has ships that can travel between stars except the Empire. Admiral Wright studied the information. Until now. Until now, Donovan agreed. Admiral, you will lead our first strike beyond our solar system. Operation Hornet's Nest begins tomorrow. The next day, 5 Earth ships disappeared from their hiding places in the asteroid belt. Each ship carried 200 soldiers and advanced weapons designed based on Elzheran technology. Admiral Wright commanded from the lead ship, renamed the EDS Defiance. The jump between stars took only minutes using the adapted alien drive. The human ships appeared near Proxima Centauri's outer planets, far enough away to avoid immediate detection. All ships report successful transit, said Wright's second-in-command, Captain Frank Olson. No system failures. We're running silent as planned. Wright took a deep breath. Humans had just traveled to another star for the first time. There was no time to celebrate the achievement. Begin approach. All ships maintain stealth protocols, ordered Wright. The 5 human vessels moved slowly toward the Elzheran base on the moon of Proxima Centauri's largest gas giant. The base grew larger on their screens, a sprawling facility with hangars, living quarters, and defense systems. They have no alert signals, said Olson. They don't see us. Wright nodded. All ships, attack formation Delta. Weapons free on my mark. The Earth ships spread out, surrounding the base from different angles. Mark, said Wright. All 5 ships fired at once. The base's outer defenses exploded in silent bursts of light. Before the Alzarans could respond, human troops launched in small landing craft, aiming for the base's command center. The battle lasted less than an hour. The Alzarans, caught completely by surprise, fought bravely but couldn't mount an organized defense. By the time they realized they were under attack by humans, a species that shouldn't have been able to leave its own solar system, it was too late. "Base secured, Admiral," reported Major Chris Bell from the surface. "We have control of their systems and communications. And, sir, we've captured their central database." Wright allowed himself a small smile. "Copy all data immediately. Prepare the base for destruction. We leave in 30 minutes." On his command ship, the Alzaran regional commander watched in disbelief as the Proxima base went silent. The monitoring station showed 5 unknown ships near the base, then nothing as the base's sensors were destroyed. When he reported the loss to Emperor Vexkar, the Emperor's rage was terrible to witness. "Impossible," Vexkar shouted. "These primitives cannot travel between stars." "The evidence suggests they can, Your Majesty," said the commander. "Then you have failed twice," said the Emperor. His voice became cold. "Report to the execution chamber." As guards dragged the commander away, Vexkar turned to his new general. "Prepare the main fleet. We will crush these humans completely." The next day, Earth went silent. All radio signals stopped, TV broadcasts ended, internet connections to orbital systems were cut. Even the lights in major cities dimmed at night. The Alzaran ships circled, waiting for Earth's surrender message. None came. "What are they doing?" asked High Commander Krell as he stared at the blue planet below. Captain Zeth, his second-in-command, checked the scanners. "Nothing, sir. It appears they shut down communications and reduced power use. Perhaps they are preparing for surrender. Or they are hiding," said Krell. "Send scout ships. Find out what these humans are planning." 5 small Alzaran vessels moved toward Earth. They found empty space stations, abandoned orbital platforms. No resistance at all. Krell reported to Emperor Vexkar, "The humans have gone dark, Your Majesty. They seem to have retreated to their planet." The Emperor's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. They recognized their doom. "Begin landing troops in their largest nation. Show them the price of delaying their surrender." On Earth, General Donovan watched from an underground command center as the Alzaran ships approached North America. "They're taking the bait," she said to Colonel Ryan. "Alert all teams. Operation Ghost begins now." Ryan nodded and sent the coded message to military units hidden across the continent. The first Alzaran ship landed near what used to be a major military base in Colorado. The base appeared empty, with vehicles left behind, as if the soldiers had fled in panic. 300 alien troops exited their ship, weapons ready. They moved in formation toward the main buildings. Lieutenant Paul Martinez watched them through his scope from 2 miles away. He and his team of 20 soldiers lay hidden under special covers that blocked Alzaran sensors. Each soldier wore a simple black uniform with no markings. "Wait for it," Martinez whispered into his comm. The aliens moved deeper into the trap. When the last Alzaran stepped past the invisible line, Martinez pressed a button on his wrist. The ground beneath the aliens suddenly turned to liquid fire. Hidden weapons that the alien sensors couldn't detect opened fire from all directions. The Alzarans tried to retreat, but found themselves cut off. Their advanced shields, designed to stop energy weapons, did nothing against the simple but deadly traps. "Now," said Martinez. His team moved in, using strange-looking rifles that fired special bullets. These bullets could pass through Alzaran shields because they moved slower than the shields were designed to stop. The aliens fell one by one. Similar scenes played out across the continent as 6 Alzaran landing parties met unexpected resistance. The humans didn't fight like any species the Empire had encountered before. They didn't meet the invaders head-on. They set traps. They struck from hiding and disappeared again. At the Colorado base, Martinez's team captured 12 Elzarans alive, including the ship captain. More importantly, they captured an Elzaran battlecruiser intact. Package secured, Martins reported, sending the welcome gift to Luna Base now. In orbit, Krell watched in growing horror as landing team after landing team went silent. No distress calls. No battle reports. They simply disappeared. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Where are our troops?" "Unknown, sir," said Captain Zeth. "We've lost contact with all landing parties, and our main battlecruiser it's moving, sir. But we're not receiving proper authentication codes." High Commander Krell watched as one of his own ships turned and accelerated away from Earth, heading toward Earth's moon. In her command center, Donovan received the news with a small smile. "The first phase is complete," she told her staff. "We have their ship, their tech, and their command codes." "The Elzarans are pulling back to orbit," said Ryan. "They look confused." "They expected an easy victory or immediate surrender," said Donovan. "They never expected us to fight differently than the other species they conquered." She looked at the screen showing the captured battlecruiser heading to their secret moon base. "Now we move to Phase 2. On his flagship, Krell faced the angry image of Emperor Vexkar. "Your Majesty, these humans, they don't fight like normal primitives. You have failed," said the Emperor. "Return to the homeworld for punishment. I will send General Vrax to deal with these humans properly." As Krell's ship turned away from Earth, he looked back at the blue planet with new respect and fear in his 4 eyes. What kind of species had they awakened? 6 months passed since the first meeting with the Elzarans. The aliens grew more demanding with each passing week. Their ships now circled Earth like hungry sharks. 3 of their largest vessels stayed in position above major cities. A clear threat. On a cold Monday morning, the Elzaran ambassador delivered their final message to the United Earth Council. "The Emperor requires Earth to provide 20% of all minerals mined, 1,000 human workers each month, and control of your lunar bases," said the ambassador. His name was Drac, lower in rank than Krell, showing how little the Empire now thought of Earth. "This is your protection fee. Pay it, and you may keep your limited independence." President Miller looked at the faces of the council members. "And if we refuse these terms?" Drac's top set of eyes narrowed. "Then we will take everything." The council voted to ask for 3 days to consider. The Elzarans gave them 12 hours. Before the deadline came, 3 small orbital stations went silent. Each station had housed about 100 scientists and engineers. The Elzaran ships fired without warning, turning the stations into clouds of hot metal. 300 dead in an instant. Earth's screens all turned on at once, even those that were off. Emperor Vexkar appeared, his face filling every display on the planet. His skin was deep purple, almost black. 6 eyes arranged in a circle on his face, linked in perfect rhythm. Golden armor covered his massive body. "People of Earth," he said in a voice that needed no translation. The Empire had studied human languages well enough. "Your stations were removed as a demonstration. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your ships cannot escape us. Your choices are simple: serve or die. All primitive species face this moment. All make the wise choice in the end." The Emperor vanished from the screens. The council called an emergency meeting. The room was chaos when General Donovan arrived. Some members shouted for immediate surrender. Others cried. A few called for a hopeless fight. President Miller tried to keep order. "The Chinese space fleet reports ready to launch," said one officer. "Call them back," shouted the African delegate. "They'll all die for nothing." 20,000 people in Panama City are rioting," said another aide. "They want us to surrender now." Miller raised his hands. "Please, we need calm to decide our response." "There is only one possible response," said the Russian representative. "Surrender or face extinction." The room went silent as General Donovan walked to the center. Her uniform was clean and pressed. Her face showed no fear. 6 months ago, I warned you about their intentions, she said quietly. Everyone leaned forward to hear. I also began preparations. I did not wait for permission. What preparations? Asked Miller. Our weapons are useless against their ships. Conventional weapons, yes, said Donovan. But the Alzarans have a weakness. They believe their own propaganda. They think humans are predictable, like all the other species they conquered. She touched a control, and a map appeared showing Earth and the positions of Alzaran ships. For 6 months, they've watched us beg for peace. They've studied our military, our bases, our defenses. But they've only seen what we wanted them to see. Jack Ryan, now Colonel Ryan, entered and handed Donovan a tablet. She nodded. The Emperor wants war, she continued. He thinks it will be easy. A simple conquest of frightened primitives. It will be, said the European delegate. We should negotiate terms while we can. Donovan looked at each council member. The Altarans expect us to be afraid, to surrender, or to fight in ways they understand. She stepped closer to the council table. I propose we do something they cannot imagine. Something no species has ever done when facing their fleet. What exactly are you suggesting? Miller asked. Donovan's eyes were hard as steel. They think we're weak because we sought peace. They laugh at our restraint, mistaking it for fear. Her voice rose, filling the chamber. The Empire wants war. Then we'll bring them hell. The room went silent. Give me command authority, she said, complete and without political interference. Let me show the Alzarans what happens when you corner a species that clawed its way to dominance on a death world. Miller looked around at the frightened faces. Then he nodded. The vote is called. All in favor. One by one, hands went up across the council chamber. The giant screen in the United Earth Council chamber showed the face of High Commander Krell. His purple skin shimmered under the lights of the Alzaran ship. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he looked at the human delegates. Your weapons are toys. Your ships are slow. Your cities are weak, Krell said. His translator made his voice sound flat, but everyone could hear the mockery in it. The Alzaran Empire has ruled the stars for 3,000 years. We have crushed civilizations that were old when your kind still lived in caves. General Alice Donovan sat straight in her chair. She wore her dark blue uniform with all her medals from the Mars conflict. Her short gray hair and steady eyes showed her 50 years of life, most spent in military service. While other council members shifted in their seats, she remained still, watching. Earth had discovered the alien signal just 6 months ago. First contact happened 1 month later. The Alzarans arrived in ships that made Earth's best vessels look like rowboats. They said they came in peace. They offered to bring Earth into their empire as a protected world. The council president, John Miller, leaned forward. High Commander, we seek friendship, not protection. Earth offers trade, knowledge, and peaceful relations. Krell made a sound that the translator didn't catch. The humans